Well, what's up everyone, my name's Matt and welcome to my channel. Now, back when 04 first came out, people were shocked and massively surprised and grateful really that 04 Lite came out as well. Now, it wasn't without its issues, one of the main ones being that when it got down to 3.5 volts it tended to brown out and you lost video signal, but companies like betafpv came up with solutions to that and now you can fly 04 down to below 3 volts. I've seen some people take it to. And one of the other big complaints was the field of view of the 04 Lite camera. Now, I believe the field of view on that was 117.6 degrees, if I remember rightly. And the only sort of solution for that really was melting the camera lens off and replacing it with one from a Whoop camera, something like that. Now, people like myself weren't really comfortable doing stuff like that, so lo and behold, I was extremely excited to find out that Flywoo were releasing an 04 wide-angle lens kit. So what we'll do, we'll have a quick look in the box and I'll go through some of the different versions of this that you can get, because there is multiple ones. We'll show you it attached to a quad, and then I'll tell you why I think it's a great bit of kit, but it isn't perfect. Right, so this is the lens cover itself. You can see it's actually 3D printed. Now the one I've got here is for the 03. You can see the two screws on the side there match up to the mounting pattern for the 03, and then there's like a little plastic lens and an actual cover on the top there. There's actually a little back that goes on this. You can see the two screw holes there line up with that, and that's what actually stops your 04 camera lens from coming out. So looking at the ND filters, you can see here they're extremely thin and very delicate, and they're also a pain in the arse to get into the camera, into the holder. Now quickly here, your camera basically slots into the stand there. You see how you more or less just push that in, and then there's a little aluminium cover that goes on the back and there's sort of like a bit of heat pad that goes on it as well. And then you basically just sit that on there like that. And then once you've actually got that screwed in, that's what holds your camera in and stops it from flying out basically. Now, you may have also seen in the video that I've also got the Flywoo heatsink to go over the actual VTX itself. Really good bit of kit this. You can see it's got the same mounting pattern you get on the 04 Pro. It's also got a little spot there that actually holds your antenna on to stop that flying off, which is quite handy for if you're going to crash, because these antennas do like to pop off. But yeah, it's a great little bit of kit that should make it quite a bit more durable, I hope. So just before we get out here, I just want to quickly show you the actual difference this wide angle lens made. Now, I had two separate quads here. I had an 04 standard on a, what was it on? Oh, it was on a betafpv 75 Pro. And as you can see there, I've lined sort of two batteries up, and the sort of edges of the corners of the batteries are lined up with the edge of the screen. I'll put a couple of little arrows there so you can see where I mean now. So they sort of give you an idea of where the actual edge of the frame is. And then if we swap over to the 04 wide angle lens, you can see straight away the difference that makes. Now, fair enough, this was on a different quad, but I had it set up at exactly the same position as the other quad, so the camera was in exactly the same place. And you can see straight away here, if I put two lines where the outside of the frame was on the normal 04, you can sort of see the difference straight away. So ignore the massively blown out footage here, but this was my first flight using the standard Pico mount and the Gemfan props that were standard on the Pico. Now I have ran this through Gyroflow, and I don't know whether you can tell, that little there, I was getting a lot of vibrations. Now I only had Gyroflow set at 5% here, but I thought it still would take out a lot of the vibrations. Now I'm really not sold on this sort of vignetting. You know, you can obviously see the outside of the 04 wide angle kit there. Now, yeah, fair enough, you can crop back in, but then you're kind of cropping back into almost what the original field of view was. I mean, maybe not exactly, maybe not that small, but still, it's not great. It's okay. Now, I am slightly worried that because the inside of this lens cover is white, when it's really bright sun, it may get some lens reflections, but we'll have to have a look at that. We'll try and go out again when the sun's a bit brighter. But yeah, this was kind of my first attempt really, and things didn't go great. Yeah, so this was my original setup. As you can see there, it's just the standard Pavo Pico camera VTX mount really. You can see the VTX and heat sinks there. And then you've got the O3 camera there held in one point. Now, the footage I got off that wasn't great, to be honest. There was a lot of twitches and vibrations, so I have got a bit of a plan. I'm going to swap the canopy from the Pico to the Pavo 21. You can see there's two mounts in there to hold the camera. And I'll actually show you on my Pavo 20. Now that's got an O3 in it. You can see the camera's held a bit more secure. Not only that, the points where the canopy's held onto the frame, it's just a couple of screws in there. But on the Pavo 20, there's actually some proper bolts set to a certain length, so you can't over screw and over tighten it. So that should help with a bit of dampening. Now I'm also going to swap the props out on this. These have got the Gemfan 45mm props. Now I have had issues with them before on my 1S quad, my betafpv Meteor 75 Pro, getting a few issues with jello. So I'm going to swap them and see what they're like with the HQ Superlight 45mm ones. So right, we'll get all that done and then we'll take it out again and see what sort of footage we get. Right, so you can see we've got that altered now. We've got the Pavo 20 canopy on. Feels a little bit more stable with the bolts in rather than the screws on the normal Pico one. And we've got the HQ props mounted there as well. So, right, the sun's out. So the only thing left to do is take this out and see how it performs this time. Right, so just before we try out the other canopy and other props on this quad, I want to take a quick minute in this video just to say thank you to my patrons. So massive thank you to Tegridy Frank. Your support means a lot, mate. It helps keep this channel running. If any of you guys want to support the channel for as little as £1 a month, there's links down in the video description to my Patreon. We're also offering channel memberships and there's some merch down there and stuff like that as well. With channel memberships and patrons, you get to see my videos up to a week early. So, and it's just a great way to help support the channel and let me keep doing what I do. So, right, that's enough begging. Right, back to the video. So the sun finally got out and we got out to take the 04 out in some bright sunshine to see how we performed. Now, this is slightly cropped in a bit more. I had gyroflow at 10% this time rather than 5% to make it a little bit smoother. You are getting some vignetting, and already I can see in certain areas we're actually getting some, I don't know if it looks like reflections from the inside of the mount. Now, after changing the props and the canopy, it did make a big difference to the stability of the footage. Obviously, there's nowhere near as many wobbles as there was with the Pico canopy. So I'm happy about that, but still, you know, the reflections and glare I'm getting on the inside of this lens are not fantastic. I mean, granted, this was just a standard clear lens and the settings were at auto, so possibly with an ND filter on it might make them a little bit better, but it's okay, don't get me wrong, but you can see there on that left hand side there's a hell of a amount of glare on it, so definitely an improvement, but like I said, still not perfect. So, what are my thoughts? Well, honestly, I'm a little disappointed. The vignetting and the actual fact that you can see quite a bit of the glare from the white section on the inside of that's really disappointing. Don't get me wrong, from a piloting, flying point of view, it's great. You know, that extra field of view really helps when you're doing proximity flying, you know, as much as you do with smaller quads. But from a cinematic point of view, you're almost cropping in to remove that vignetting and the lens that you can see. You're almost cropping in, maybe not quite as much, but back to the original field of view of the 04. So why would you put that on if you're just going to crop back into it anyway? But, you know, maybe you lot have had some different experiences to what I've had with this. Don't get me wrong, I'm not happy with it. I do think it's, from a flying point of view, it's a fantastic thing, but, you know, from getting the footage back off it and the glare and stuff I was getting, I am a bit disappointed really, but These are just my experiences. I can only tell you what's happened to me. If you've had better experiences, let me know down in the video comments. So, yeah. Oh, and also on a side note, the little heatsink thing that I've actually put on the VTX is fantastic, by the way. I can actually feel the extra heat coming off it, and it gives it a lot more surface area to dissipate that heat as well. So, yeah. So, I'm on the fence, really. It's alright. Whether it's just me having a bad experience or not, that's life, really, and you can't be happy with everything. So, right, thanks for watching this video. If you agree with me, please let me know down in the video comments. If you disagree with me, also let me know down in the video comments. Down in the video description, there's links to my Patreon and stuff like that to help support the channel. And that's kind of it, really. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please think about giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. And we'll see you in the next one.